So I promise you, after this masterclass, something in you will shift. And that thing will be that you will experience that activation where you will know that there is so much money and you are a match. It's available to you. So I've done quite a lot of these sessions before, but why this one is so incredible? Because in this one, we are going to ascend to that frequency and you will see that all the money is available to you. And when you touch that, from that, there will be a life before touching that, and there'll be a life after touching that. And that is my promise to you. Like, you will have that shift when you will just know and know and know that there is so much abundance, there is so much money available, and you are the match. You attract it. Okay, so this is the most incredible thing. Now, I'm sitting in a car and I'm driving around quite fast, and the sky is pitch black, like literally really, really pitch black. And I could see the full moon looking at me, and tears are dripping from my eyes. And I'm saying, when would I crack? It's like, when would my life change? I've done everything. I've tried everything. I've tried everything that other people have told me, from this tool to that tool, to this meditation, to this visualization, everything. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I am tired. I'm tired. I want to know what I'm missing. And that's when I felt, looking at the moon, because wherever I was driving, I could see the moon following me, like it's talking to me. And you know, when that feeling, when you know that something has changed, my this thing has been answered, like this thing that I'm saying, and I felt it in my body. And from that day, I started to stumble on the right information finally about how to manifest money, how to manifest abundance, how does money actually work. And let me tell you this, which is really, really strange, that despite being in the manifestation space for 2 years, I couldn't find that information. Like, there is so much information about affirmation. Just feel the feeling. Just feel it. Just feel abundant. Just visualize. Just affirm. Just don't think negative thoughts. Can you relate to that? Like, all these things that we are told, but it's like, how am I supposed to feel the feeling? Okay, I can feel the feeling, but how do I stay there? I have these thoughts, I have these ideas that control me. That sometimes I look at my physical reality, which feels so different from where I'm going, and it gets on me. And then we are told, just detach from your physical reality. And we are like, how? Can you tell me? How? How do I detach? Yeah, right? Like, how am I supposed to do that? Okay, just stay in the feeling. Just stay in your vortex. Just stay in the vibration. Okay, I get it. When I feel abundant, when I think abundant, I attract abundant. But how do I do that? So when I really understood this exact steps, like, how does it actually work? Because I was sick and tired of reading this, studying this, watching the YouTubes, doing meditation, taking courses where everything was all about just feel the feeling. And I couldn't feel the feeling all day long. And I was like, I want to know the answer. I want to know how it works, how this thing works. And when I started figuring out, and I genuinely believe that I was getting to the point where I was tired. I didn't want to do that anymore. And something in me shifted at that point, in that moment, right? And I started getting all the information. I started stumbling on those pieces of information, finding the right courses, finding right people, finding the right books, and everything started to connect together. But what I felt was there was not one thing where everything was available. I had to put the pieces for me together to really start to make sense. So in these 2 sessions, what I really want to do is I want to give you every information that you ever need. Like, everything. So you don't have to put the pieces together. Everything is in the greatest way given to you now. And this is going to be the best investment of your time, because all those years, all those things trying to figure out, you will not have to do any of that. Okay. So when we talk about money, okay, and I'm not just talking about abundance of trees, abundance of plants. I know there are abundance everywhere. I'm talking about money specifically. Okay. And when I say money, if it gives you a little bit of that feeling like, oh, that, pay attention where it shows in your body. When you think of your bank account, where does it feel? When you think of opening your bank account and checking how much balance there is, where does it affect in your body? Right? All these things are telling you something. Okay. But when we talk about money, what we want to understand is that money is operating on a frequency. And without giving you this piece of information, I cannot take you on those shifts, right? So this is the crux of everything that you need to know about money. Okay. So money is on a specific frequency. And there are two universal laws which are really important to understand money. One is law of vibration and one is law of attraction. So on the basis of this information, I'm going to layer all the information. So this is really, really, really important to understand. So what happens is that when we are sitting down, we are doing something, wherever we are constantly vibrating. According to law of vibration, everything in this universe vibrates, every single thing, right? And we vibrate on a frequency. That means we have a speed of vibration, right? And you have a specific vibration when it comes to money, right? So when you are vibrating on a frequency of specific amount of money, and you attract that amount of money from the quantum. So this is attraction. When two things have the same frequency, they are attracted towards each other, right? This is law of attraction. So law of vibration is that everything vibrates, and law of attraction is two things which vibrate with the same frequency, they're attracted to each other. Now, we see law of attraction all the time in our life. So if we look at our mobile phone, right? You call your friend, you dial their number. When you speak to them, that is law of attraction. So you dial their frequency, you spoke to them. So that is physics. It's not some philosophy or something woo-woo. It's physics. Like you call them, you talk to them, you dial their frequency. Similarly, when you're tuning into FM station, you're dialing the frequency. So you're dialing the frequency of a radio by turning the dial, and that is law of attraction, right? When you're on TV changing channels with your remote, TV is plugging into a specific frequency. And when you change the channel, it's a different frequency. Okay? So law of attraction is working all the time in our life, and it's not a rocket science, it's everywhere. Okay? So when you are operating with a certain frequency, you are actually operating on a frequency of money, and you attract that money in your life. Now, we are told this, that if you feel abundant, if you think abundant thoughts, if you really see yourself abundant, you will attract more money, which is absolutely true. But the question and the problem, what starts to happen is that how do we feel abundant all the time? Because we cannot tell law of attraction to stop. Like, listen, I'm right now, I'm not feeling as abundant. So can you just stop until I come back to my highest frequency or my abundant frequency? It doesn't work that way. So we have to operate on that frequency as our natural state all day long, because it's working all the time. And this is the problem which most of the coaches and thought leaders do not cater for, because when it comes to operating on that frequency all the time, there are three things that you need to embody to be able to do that. And that's what we are going to cover in these sessions, because they are really important. And until I did that, nothing changed for me. And when I started doing that, so the first thing what I manifested was my dream home, which is a beautiful, like if you want to know more the exact steps, there's a whole video on YouTube. It's really beautiful. I won't go in a lot of detail because that's a whole like that will take a lot of time. But one thing which I experienced, which was really strange for me. Okay. So one day I woke up and I saw my payment notification And I was just like, I was blown away. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is real. This thing works, right? So I received the same amount of money what I used to earn in 2 months in my corporate job. So what I used to earn in 2 months, I received in one day. And that's when I thought that this is crazy. Like, this is like, it's numbers, right? It's a numbers game. It doesn't even look real. Like, it looks like there are numbers. You play the game, you attract more numbers that then you, so it's these are numbers now. This is so good. And that's where the idea, when I was thinking, what shall I name this session of this masterclass? I was like, illogical money. Because when you really understand this, it's illogical. But there is nothing, there is nothing like woo-woo about this. It's psychology, it's neuroscience, and it's understanding how manifestation works. Like, this is a beautiful combination of all three of them. And there is nothing like strange about this. This is how everything works. This is very simple when we really start to grasp it. So what are the key three things because when I experienced that money enter my bank account, and I remember, like, not too long ago, I was feeling like, why don't I get this? Why everybody around me is talking about what they have manifested? Why is it that it seems so hard for me? So when that feeling, when you're like, oh my God, I've cracked this and I can't wait to share it with everybody. Like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing on the planet. So that's why I really feel called to make this information available to as many people as possible, because this is so powerful and this is not available in most of the places. So the first frequency when we talk about, when it comes to money, is when you're spending money. Okay, so we talked about this, that when money has a frequency and you have a frequency. Now, what is your frequency when you're spending money? That is the question. How do you feel? How do you feel when you have to pay that bill? How do you feel when you're swiping your card from, like, you're doing grocery shopping or something and you're swiping your card? Can you write in the chat, like, how do you feel when you spend money? I'm going to run out. Yeah. Right? So these kind of things, like worried. Can you see, like, so when you're swiping your card or you're paying that bill and you're feeling like, oh my God, or you're paying your electric bill, let's say it's $200, and you're like, oh my God, this is so much. And why the bill is so high? Or maybe you're buying coffee and you realize it's like $6, $7 and it's so expensive. When you're doing that, uneasiness, yes, even when I have money, this has a frequency. This feeling has a frequency. Okay? So when you're feeling this feeling of money running out, that unease, that feeling of, oh yeah, fear will hold me that I'm wasting money. Yes, tightness. So when you're feeling all of that, you are on the frequency of lack. And then more money leaves. Because right now, your current frequency is money is running out. So what will you attract? More money runs out. Can you see? Like, when you're swiping your card, you're feeling that money is responding to your frequency at that moment in time. And when you feel that, that's when more money runs out. Okay, now let's really break it down. Okay, so when you're feeling that, the truth is, and this thing that I'm sharing with you, when we had that shift with my clients, like even in my program Wealth Fountain, one thing I noticed was, as soon as people join the program, all of a sudden their sales increase, all of a sudden their money starts to stay longer. Like, there was one of my client who joined the program, and I messaged her like in 3 4 days. I was like, are you okay with all your connections? Is everything working? Have you got your your like membership site details? Like, everything is fine, just to make sure that she's getting along. And she was like, Anam, this is crazy. Like, I've just sold 5 of my paintings. And I've just been nominated as the artist in 3 of the exhibitions, and this is crazy. So I was like, how can this happen? When what is that thing that's really activating? And this is the first thing we learn in Well Fountain, and there are so many tools that we do that. But this is so powerful. And the most powerful thing about this shift is I'm not asking you to visualize anything. I'm not asking you to assume anything. I'm not asking you to imagine anything. You're just using your physical reality to change your frequency. So you don't have to believe in anything. It's in your physical reality. So it can't be questioned by your mind. So when you're swiping your card or paying that thing, you are feeling that you don't have money and or it's running out or you have less money. But the truth is, if we really be very honest and truthful, like really see the reality, you have money. Okay, you have less money, you don't have the money you desire, all those things. But at that point, when you're paying for that thing, let's say you're paying $1 for something, or you're paying $3 for that coffee, or you're paying your electric bill, the truth is you have money. Then why do we feel this thing when we have money? Why don't we feel I have money? Why don't we feel this? I have money. Right? The reason we don't feel this is because we have seen our parents, our adults, everybody growing up fearing money. So this habitual behavior, this automatic unconscious response, when you're swiping your card and when you're paying, is not actually truth. It's a habitual response. It's a habitual behavior. It's a habitual thing that you learn in your childhood because every time you saw your parents spending money or somebody else spending money, there was this fear. So you just picked it up. And it was just grained inside us that we have to feel this way. But the truth in physical reality is you have money. Okay, you have less money, but you have money. So when you're paying that grocery bill, when you're paying that electric bill, when you're swiping your card, you have money. So the first thing we do is we start to notice, I have money. Even feeling this, I have money. I have it right now. All of a sudden starts to put your mind to ease, like you have money. And you are reprogramming your mind. You're literally rewiring your mind to focus on having instead of not having. And when you start to shift your frequency, when you're spending money and feeling that your frequency at that time for money is, I have money, and then more money comes. Or your current money stays longer. So when people join Well Fountain, like in the first 2-3 days or in the first week, all of a sudden their current money is staying longer. It's like, how? It's like I'm buying whatever I want, I'm doing whatever I want, and even like I'm working towards the things, I'm manifesting things, I know it's coming, but even my current money is staying longer. Now, let me tell you something. So when you're saying, I have money, right? And you're feeling that you're actually rewiring your subconscious to even spend less money than you're used to. And let me really break this down because you're like, what? Because when you're saying, I'm running out of money, oh my God, I'm running out of money. What are you saying to your subconscious? I'm running out of money. So what will it do? It will make you spend more money. Because that's an affirmation. You just said, I'm running out of money. Or even if you didn't say it, you felt it. So what will happen? You will manifest an expense. What will happen? You will get a bit panic and you will buy unnecessary things. What will happen? You will spend more without even consciously realizing. And consciously, you're trying to save every penny. You're trying to spend less because you're worried. But that is resulting in the change in your behavior and you're actually spending more money. But in your conscious awareness, you're actually, when you go to that restaurant, you're looking for the less expensive menu so that you don't get, you don't have to pay that much because you want to save money. But subconsciously, you're spending more money because you're rewiring your subconscious to the fact that you're running out. So you have to manifest expense. The money has to leave. So money is not like The more you save, the more you have. Money is responding to your frequency. And when you are spending money, right, with the frequency that it's running out, you will manifest something and it will run out, right? So this is the first thing. Having, really focusing on having. And it is different from gratitude, because that's the question I get asked all the time. It is different from gratitude, because having is about, I have money to pay for this. Gratitude is you're grateful for your children, you're grateful for your partner, you're grateful for everything. And that is a non-negotiable. Like, we have to do a gratitude ritual and all those things. But having is about, I have money. And this is so powerful, because when you start to do this, and this is so simple, right? Like, you just focus on you have money. So when you're swiping your card, when you're spending that money, what in the beginning you have to do is you have to consciously change your vibration, because again, it's not your habitual behavior. It's not that the thing that you learned growing up. So like you learn your native language, like that, you heard those words, you learned those words, you pick those emotions about money, how to feel when you're spending money. So you have to change that at a conscious level, and you have to all of a sudden like go in that feeling, like, look, I have money. I have it. And if you want to take it to the next level, have your having journal. And in that having journal, you write, I have the money to pay for this. And then you write, how does it make you feel? So like, if let's say you buy something and it's like you buy a coffee, or you were thirsty and you bought water bottle. I have money. I have money. When you focus on you have money, now your mind is focusing on you have money, and then you attract more money. And then you compound that feeling of having more, and you attract more, and then you feel you have more, and then you attract more. And before you know it, it's all compounded and you have so much money. Right? So this is really, really, really powerful. The next shift, which is really, really incredible. So I got one of my one-to-one clients to, because she was meeting me one-to-one. So I was very, very, quite accountability wise, I was getting her to do it almost every other day. In fact, you can do it every day, really. I'll tell you how. So her income went from 10K to 45K in 3 months, just by doing this, what I'm going to share with you. And this is crazy. Like, and she did it. That's the only thing, is she really did it. Okay. So you have to really do it. It might be a little bit of like, oh, okay, but it really works. Okay. So one thing we want to realize is that we are so programmed to hear about lack. When you open TV, there is something about lack in the news. When you're meeting your loved ones and your family, most of the time there are conversations about lack, how expensive everything is getting, how recession is, how the job market, all those things, right? It's always something. And since I've grown up, like I'm growing up, I've never seen somebody saying this is a really good time for money. It's always a bad time. Like, it's always a bad time. When is a good time? Right? So what we start to do is we start to focus on the circulation of money. So what I got her to do, I said to her every day, either online, if you cannot leave your house, you can't be bothered today, either online or physically, go to the places where a lot of money is being circulated, because you want to show your mind the proof that there is a lot of money. Now, I will give you a couple of examples. Okay, those who live in the United States, like if we think of Vegas, right? And if you think of the casinos, maybe you don't like that place, maybe you love that place, it doesn't matter. But just like an example, how much money gets circulated from those casinos, from those slot machines every single day? How much money? Every single day, the money is being circulated. So much money is being circulated. And if we really think about it, the money is being circulated. So it's like one person has it, then the next person has it, then it's circulated. So it's in circulation, it's all around us. So one thing also she did was she loves like gold, right? So she would go to gold shop and just look around and see, yes, I love this. I love this. So when you can go to like a nice designer shop. If you don't like designer stuff, it's absolutely fine. You don't have to like this, any of the designer stuff. Just like where a lot of money is being circulated, right? If you're like if we think about like stock markets, or if where I live, like in London, I was today in the city, and I was seeing like how much money gets circulated from these glass buildings, these skyscrapers. How much money from London Stock Exchange? How much money is being traded every day through stocks, through bonds, through currency, like everything, right? So the more you start to put yourself in the abundance, your mind starts to see there is so much abundance. There is so much money. There is enough for everybody. But we cannot just force our mind to think that way without exposing ourselves to that thing, because we have been massively exposed to lack, most of us. Okay, how can you do this online? Go and do online tour of a very beautiful house. Go and test, or you can go and like look online on a Chanel store if you like Chanel, or you can go and look around. Like you can even look around how much money is being spent on cars every year in United States, in your country, wherever you are. How much money is being spent on this? Like even when you're stuck in traffic jam, right? I was stuck today, and I was thinking there is so much abundance of cars. Although it's annoying, but there is abundance, isn't it? That's why we're stuck in the traffic jam. So putting yourself, ideally even going out, like if you could go and sit in a nice hotel lobby where you see a lot of abundance, like you cannot think lack when you're in abundance. And if you hang around barber shop long enough, this is not my quote, this is Denzel Washington, you will get a haircut. So if you expose yourself long enough, you, big money will be normalized for you. What are we really doing? We are normalizing big amount of money. We are normalizing it. We are making it normal. Because when something is a big deal for your mind, it's very hard to manifest it because it's such a big deal. It's like I'm trying to reach for stars. You're not a match for a star if you're reaching for stars, if you're trying. But when you're saying, I am there, but how do you see yourself there? By exposing yourself to a lot of abundance. So this takes conscious efforts. This means you have to go there and be present and going to like, or online, seeing those things, exposing yourself, showing what people like. You can actually find a company who sells an umbrella for $800. And the first thought could be, who's going to pay that? But there is somebody who's paying that. That means there is a lot of money. Look at the 5-star hotels. Look at the 7-star hotels. Look at how the countries are developing skyscrapers. How much money is being spent? Like in London, the tallest building is $23 billion. How much money is there? So exposing yourself to abundance and a lot of money circulation helps you to make big money like normal. Why is it that we are not a match for big money? Because it's not normal. It's a big deal. When something is a big deal, you're not a match for it. So this thing is really, really, really powerful. Making it into a practice. Let me go and find a nice hotel near where I live, and let me go and journal from there. Let me go and create beautiful vision of my life. Like, one thing I started doing, which is so funny. So now I'm manifesting another dream home, okay, which is, oh my God, I live there. It's so beautiful. So now what I do is I go there, I park my car, and I go for walks there. And that brings me so close to that place. And that place has another level of abundance. Like those houses have like money like dripping. Like you can see like so much abundance. So I cannot think lack when I'm in that environment. I cannot. Because full of abundance. So exposing, it seems uncomfortable. You might go to a shop and you're like, I would never pay for that. But the question is, okay, if you don't like it, that's a different thing. But if you're like, how will I pay for that? What if you say, you know what? I see myself paying for it. or I'm on my way getting this. And you just like that expose yourself, and you allow yourself to see yourself with it. So every level of wealth is about normalizing that wealth, normalizing that level of wealth. Okay. And this thing comes to the third point, which is mind-boggling, which is crazy, but this is so beautiful. This will literally change everything. Is about understanding that you have a money temperature. Okay, what does it mean? You are absolutely fine. You haven't got temperature, but you have got money temperature. That means right now, you have a capacity to receive a certain amount of money. You have a capacity to receive a certain amount of money, which is reflected in your bank account every single month. That exact number. That number is in your bank account. Like, this is what I receive. There's a specific amount of money. When you receive more than that, somehow you manifest an expense because you are not programmed to receive more than that. It's like a glass. I can bring 10 liters of water, but if the glass can only hold half a liter, I cannot put more water in the glass. I cannot. Right? Okay, of course, absolutely. So you have a specific capacity to receive money. You have a specific capacity to receive money, which is your threshold to receive money, which is your energetic threshold. You cannot receive more money until you change your threshold. And you know the funny thing, you have a specific capacity and threshold for your weight. So how many times people go on diet? They're like, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going on diet. I'm starting this. And they lose the weight and then it comes back again for some reason. Why is that? Because they have a specific energetic capacity for that weight. And when we lose the weight, but we don't change our capacity, it comes back. Same with money. You are programmed. So we are literally an autopilot program. 98% of the time we are running on autopilot. We wake up, we brush our teeth, we do all the things, we have a routine, we do this and next and next. We're not even thinking. Like when we're driving car, we are just driving on autopilot. When we are brushing our teeth, autopilot, change our clothes, autopilot, everything we are doing on autopilot, sleeping on same side of the bed, waking up, doing the same thing. Like it's an autopilot program. We run on a program, and that program has a capacity to receive money, because it's, imagine like that program is like, it's programmed to go to a target, and that target is set for you, which is your energetic capacity to receive. Yes, it's like a glass ceiling. You can call it glass ceiling. Yes, under this glass ceiling where you are just programmed to attract that. So when you say to yourself, I'm going to work really, really hard, but you're still programmed to attract the same. So either you feel a little bit stuck and you're like, I can't see the opportunity, or like, I don't know what to do. I'm trying to find the ways. I'm figuring it out. I've tried so many things, it doesn't work. Or it's like you start to procrastinate. You're like, I know what I need to do. I know if I start that business, or if I do that thing, or if I work on that, I will make a lot of money. I know it has potential. I don't know. I don't know why I just don't, like, there is something, like, I don't do that. Like, I'm just procrastinating. You're procrastinating because that is the specific amount of money that you're programmed to attract. So you cannot fight that. You cannot fight a mental program that controls you. So we start to procrastinate. It's called knowing and doing gap. I know what I need to do, but I'm not doing it. Or it could be that you start something and then you're so excited and you're like, I know I'm getting there. And then you stop. Stop. And then you start again. And then you stop. And you start again and you stop. Who is stopping you? You're not stopping you. You want to do it. Or it could be that you attract that money, but then somehow something happens and it just goes. It just disappears. Like you don't know where it went. You attracted the money, but it went somewhere. Like sometimes it happens to people, like they give away the money as if they stole it. Like they can't hold the money. They attract the money, but it can't stay. It's like if I put more water in the glass, which has less capacity to receive, what will happen? It will drip everywhere. It won't stay in the glass. So it literally, this energetic capacity, this energetic threshold, I call it money temperature because it's quite like the temperature. It's like the temperature in your house. You know, the heating in your house. You set it to a temperature. And if somebody opens the door, let's say it's really cold and somebody opens the door and it gets a bit, temperature gets a bit cold now. And then the thermostat turns the heating on and it goes back. So it's like a temperature. It's supposed to be maintained. So let's really see how it controls us, okay? So let's say you are a business owner. If you have a business, these things will really show you. So what prices you charge? If I say to you, can you just triple your prices? Because look at those people, they're charging 3 times more than what you are. Can you just do it tomorrow? Like from tomorrow, you're tripling your prices. Why can't you do that? I was like, oh, who will pay? I can't do that. I lose the clients I have. I can't charge that. Oh, no, I can't. That's your energetic threshold. It's not letting you charge more. Or it could be that you are attracting the kind of clients or people who are giving you a lot of stress and problems. And you're like, why is this happening? Why am I attracting these kind of people who are like worrying about every single penny and they're asking for refund and they're doing this? It's because your energetic threshold says that money is hard to earn. And you're seeing the reflection. You're seeing the reflection everywhere. If you're a coach, like you do something, how many people respond to you, how well your strategy works, because let's look at strategy, right? So we can do all the strategies what are taught, they all work. A process becomes a strategy when it works, when it has been proven to work for someone. That's when it becomes a strategy. So when you apply that strategy, why it doesn't work? Because of the energetic threshold. So that energetic threshold also dictates what is your frequency when you're taking the action. So if your frequency is, what's the point? I don't want to do it. What's the point? So you're doing it like with the frequency of what's the point. It's going to attract what's the point to you. Now, here I will connect the dots, okay? So when you're told that feel the feeling, stay in that vibration, the problem is your energetic threshold doesn't even allow you to stay there any longer because it controls how you think, how you feel, how you act, and what you attract. Everything, how you think, how you feel. So you cannot even outperform it when it's coming to thinking. You can't even think abundant if it's not at that frequency. If it's not set to that level of money and you start to think you're so abundant, after a few minutes, you will have a thought, look at your life. How will this happen? So, when you're saying, how will this happen? What you're trying to say is, I cannot see myself there now. Let me bypass everything and make it work. So it's almost like, let me just control everything and make it work. So you're asking how? But you're not a match because it doesn't even let you think on that frequency. This is why when a lot of coaches tell you, just feel that way, just think abundant thoughts, just operate on the frequency. They're right. But how? But how? So this is where we want to understand that money is not a mindset issue. I'm repeating again. Money is not a mindset issue. It's a body issue. It's an identity issue. So let's say, if I say to you, well, think of a time when when you had the situation when money was actually running out, like you were like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out, like I feel it. Or maybe in your childhood you saw your parents experiencing that, or somebody. If you can think of that time and there was lack of money and you were really worried, you can still feel the feeling in your body. And a lot of people say at the top, like in the chat, that I feel it in my solar plexus, I feel it here. Why is it that you feel it there? Because that emotion is stored in your body. It's not in your mind. So anything starts with conscious mind, a thought, then it goes into subconscious where you start to emotionalize it, and then it goes in your body. It becomes who you are, your identity. It solidifies into your body. So when we talked about looking at your bank account and thinking about like spending money, and you said, oh, I feel it here, I feel this, I feel, because it's in your body. So it's not a mindset issue. So when somebody tells you, visualize, just do your affirmations, they are telling you mindset tools. And that's why it's not working, because it's in the body. Money is not mindset. It has gone beyond mindset. It's a body issue. It's an identity issue. It's a thing of who you are. And when you're trying to operate on that frequency, your identity, that mental program that controls you 98% is canceling all of that. Like, no, 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 no. And there is a proof. Like if I ask you, let's do it to right now, right? If I say to you, literally imagine you're opening your bank account right now. Where does it feel? You're opening your bank account. I don't know if you do it on your phone, if you do it on your laptop. Open your bank account, check the number. Where does it feel? Your body will tell you. Think of the bills that you pay. Think of the time in your life when my heart, right? So think of the time in your life when you had a big bill to pay and you were like, oh my God. Or think of the time when you were expecting more money. Can you see, like, it's all stored in your body? Your body is communicating to you. So what we start to do is we shift the identity. Because when you shift your identity, it's about who you are. And you don't change who you are, you just change the way you see yourself. So when I say the identity issue, you might be thinking, oh my God, do I need to be Beyonce? Like, do I need to be, I don't know, somebody else? No, no, not at all. It's about changing the way you see you instead of becoming somebody else. It's about changing how you see you right now. Because when you shift the identity, when you shift the being who you are right now, that's when you can operate on that frequency naturally. That's when you wake up, you are on that frequency, is where I feel. Yeah, Lenora, exactly. So when you're feeling that, when you are on that identity, you feel that all day long, naturally on autopilot. Like you feel the things you feel right now on autopilot, like you sometimes end up feeling lack on autopilot. What if you just embody that identity and you become the most abundant version of you, so that when you wake up, you don't have to remind yourself. Of course, you can visualize and it will just put everything on steroids, but like, let's think of it. If you're a parent, right? When you became the parent, did you have to affirm after that? After you had a child? Or like, let me just affirm 20 times I'm a parent. Like, oh, you are a parent. How can we forget that? That's one thing we can never forget, right? Because it's who you are. So how you identify at an identity level, it's who you are. This is who I am on autopilot. And that's when we do that, that's when we become a match for money. Because we cannot talk about money frequency and staying on that frequency until we deal with the identity which is controlling your frequency. And when you shift your identity, that was like, I see myself that way. And it's like if I question to you and say, you're not a parent, or you're not, you'll be like, what is wrong with you? I know I'm a parent. Like, I have no doubts whatsoever. Why is it? Because you know it's who you are. You are a parent, you have kids. Or if I like, you're not this, you're like, no, I am. So when you're going into this I am thing, that's who you are. End of story. Like, there is no question about that. There is no doubt whatsoever. It's in your body now. It's solidified. And when we become that match for money, we operate on that frequency all day long. Even when things don't go according to plan, we're like, I know what's happening. I know, because this is who I am. So if we really look at the identity thing, okay, I was once listening to Ronaldo, the famous footballer, and he was like, in my mind, I'm the top footballer on the planet. So if in his mind he's that, then he acts in alignment because that's what he is. So the moment you became a parent, especially for mothers and equally for fathers, you started doing naturally the things what a mother does, but that is the hardest job on the planet. Like staying up for your child all night. Oh my God. Why did we do that? Because that's what mothers do. We just know like that's the identity. So when Ronaldo acts in alignment with being the top footballer on the planet, is it hard for him? No, because that's what a footballer does. That's what the best footballer does anyway. So it's natural for him. Now, if somebody says to me, like, you have to go to gym for like, I don't know how long goes, or you have to eat this and you have to, it's hard for me. Why? Because that's not my identity. So it seems hard. It seems like there is resistance there. I would need 20 accountability partners. I would need trackers to make myself accountable. And then I will go up and down. Why? Because it's not my identity. But when you take on that identity, that means you start to see yourself that way. You become that. And all the things that version of you does are so natural. It's not even a question of being accountable, procrastination, or it's hard. It's natural. Like, sometimes you're really good at doing something. Like, let's say you're really good at making a dish, and somebody's like, how on earth you make that? Like, this is so difficult. Oh, thank you, Adia. And you're like, I just do it. Like, it's just easy. Why you find it so difficult? So it's the identity. When you take on the identity of your most abundant self, your most elevated self, whatever that version does, think and feel and act, it's natural. In fact, you run on autopilot anyway. So you will do it on autopilot without even realizing. So there is a version of Beyonce, right, who was very, very shy and wasn't able to go on stages and wasn't able to perform. And then she created an identity. And then she embodied that. And that's when she became a man. So it's about when you create that identity. And the most beautiful part of this work is that you don't change yourself. You just become who you are even more. So a lot of people ask me this question, is it acting as if, like, do I have to create an identity and then I act as if? And I tell them, you're acting right now. Do you know that? Because you have forgotten who you are. So you're acting right now. And it's time to remind you who you really are. And the freedom you experience of becoming who you really are is the most beautiful thing on the planet. It's so freeing. It's like every time as I'm embodying more and more, I'm like, how did I forget I was not her? Like, how did I not know? What happened? Where did I literally feel like I was always living this life and then something happened and I forgot. It's like I'm coming back home. I'm coming back to myself. I'm coming back to my truth. And this feeling is way more beautiful than seeing the numbers in your bank account. And that's when I realized, oh, it wasn't even about money. Funny, because that's how we all start, isn't it? And you realize that was all about me being me. That's what I really wanted. That's what my soul was craving for, right? So it's about you being who you really, really are. You activating your most abundant self, because that is who you really are. You're born worthy and nothing has changed. And this thing, and you're like, I want more. I'm not happy. Like I feel this thing, this like not, I'm not satisfied. It's because you deep down know who you are. You know that. So when I say these words, they really connect with you. They feel true because it's connecting to that part of you who knows. And then everything becomes so natural, like literally so natural. So my older version, if you would have asked me to go live or coach people on live like that, I would have rather died because it was so scary. But when I saw who I really was and shifted my identity, it's like I was always born for this. Like, this is me. This is so me. This is like having ecstasy feeling. Like, this is me. This is my truth. So we are really searching for ourselves, our truest self. And the moment we start uncovering that and meet ourselves, I promise there is no better feeling. There is no better feeling on this planet, not even money. And this is what we are doing. So what I would love for you to do in this session, and those who attended live and also did the homework, so live today and tomorrow, and did this work, I would offer you a free one-to-one identity makeover session with me. Okay, so I would love for you to design your life's book cover. Okay, and I have got the template, so you don't need to worry. I'm gonna quickly share it before anyone with the link, copy link. Yes. So I'm gonna quickly share that in the chat, and we will email it to you as well. But if you want to take it from the chat, you can take it from the chat as well, meeting group chat. So this is the template, and we will email that with the replay and all of that. So design your life's cover book. Like if you write a book about your life, right, where you find and you discover your most abundant self, how would you describe him or her? What would you say? What would be the title of that book? So what I would love for you to do is to really ask yourself, what is my most abundant and elevated version? What is the best of me? And you know the most interesting part? You know that. You know that. So with one of my other one-to-one client, he came to me and he said to me that I have been doing this manifestation stuff for 20 years and I'm just sick and tired. Like, I don't understand, what am I missing? I don't understand. Like, it's too long for me now. And I always say to myself, one day, and I don't know when that day is going to come, and I'm just sick and tired. And we started uncovering his identity and all of those things. And when I got him, like, after all these steps to write his script, I gave him all the tools and everything, and he wrote incredible script, and he started, like, recording it and listening to it. And that's when he said to me that this is so me, this is so good. Like, I really feel so free right now. Like, I've literally freed myself. And he said to me, how come I didn't know who I was? And I said to him, but you know what? You have written the script. So you always knew who you really were. You knew that. And that point, he was like, oh my God, I didn't realize I wrote the script. So I knew who I was. So you really know who you are. And when he discovered who he really is, like, literally within 3 months, his business 3x'd. He started to have the greatest experience with his team. He started to feel so much better. He started to travel all over the world. He started, like, everything in his life changed. And it's just when you become you, everything is so aligned and so true and so perfect. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. So this is the template you can use. If there is any problem, please email it to me. I'm gonna, or you can direct message me as well. Oh, thank you. And I'm going to, so if you could create this book with the title of what is your most abundant self? What is the best of you? If you could be anything, what would be the best of you? Okay, perfect. Lovely. And what we'll do tomorrow is tomorrow I'll take you through my signature way, which I've been perfecting for so many years, of identity shift. So we are going to do this work together. So today, I really would love for you to meet the best of you in your mind. And then also like see what does that version of me think, which I don't. Like, who am I? What do I think about me? And how would that version of me thinks about me? And how do I think of me? Like, ask that version of you. Talk to them. They're within you, they're alive. And when you start to put this identity down, it naturally gets activated. It's like it's sitting there waiting. Yeah, you just need to come up with a title based on what would you say to what is the story and what would you say to yourself. And I've got this link has got mine, so I did it first so that you have an example, right? So you can just take that and edit everything, like just take my things out, put your picture, do all of those things. So it's quite easy. Okay. But how would you name the book? What is your abundant self? What almost like what is the journey? Like my journey is becoming one with myself, like oneness, and I call myself Lady Universe, like becoming one with the source and myself and my truest self. And then start to look at your current identity from that person. Because the thing is, you're not married to your current identity. It's just how you see you, and we can change it in seconds. And I'll show you tomorrow. So tomorrow is when the rubber meets the road, like we'll do the real work. But if I wouldn't have explained all these things today, tomorrow's work wouldn't have landed. That's why I did that. So if you get time, that would be really good that you ask that version of you, that who am I? And ask this version of you, how do you really see you? In terms of money, in terms of your capability, how successful you are. What do you think of you? Go within. All that you're looking for, that version knows. We do this work so all the time, where we put one identity down and the next one emerges. And like there is only one mind. There is only one mind. So you can even imagine what Jeff Bezos thinks. You can even imagine what Bill Gates would think, because there is only one mind. When you start to shift your awareness, you can access different parts of that one mind. There is only one sun. There is only one mind. So access that. Access your greater self. So tomorrow at exactly the same time, we are going to meet and we will do the identity shift work. But this step is really, really critical before that, so that you really become aware. And we will also do a really powerful meditation, which will help you become like you will see that version of you. You will literally meet that version of you. That meditation is incredible. You will meet that self. Okay? Because it exists within you right now. Right now. All it needs is just one flip of the switch and it gets activated. Okay? Perfect. So I'll see you all tomorrow, same link, same time. And please post your thing in the group, in Illogical Money group. Okay? That'll be really good to see. We'll celebrate each other. We'll celebrate who we are becoming. Such a beautiful process, right? And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Yay. Thank you.